Hello, my name is Mayanka. I am accounts and a finance trainer from Uplatz. Today in this class, we will discuss part 2 of aggregation of income, set off and carry forward of losses. Part 1 is already covered by us in our previous video in which we have discussed what is the aggregation of income and we have also discussed set off of losses. Set off within the head means inter had set off and we have also inter source set off and we have also discussed inter head set off and we have discussed some other provisions which are relating to the set off and carry forward now we will discuss other provisions which are relating to such a concept so now we will start our discussion on one of the important topic, aggregation of income, set off and carry forward of losses. This is part 2 of such concept. So first we will discuss carry forward and set off of business losses. Carry forward and set off the business losses. Section 72 is that if there is any assessee, he has any business loss. If there is any assessee, he has any business loss, then in the relevant previous year, in the relevant assessment year, he will set off he will adjust or he will set off the amount of business loss. If there is any unabsorbed, if there is any unabsorbed amount of business loss, then we can adjust or we can carry forward such loss for the next assessment year. For the example, there is an assessee Mohan. Mohan. He has business. He has businesses. Number one, he has textile. He has textile business. And in the textile business, he has the profit of rupees 7,50,000. He has the profit of rupees 7,50,000. And he has another business. Manufacturing business. He has manufacturing business, and in the manufacturing business, he has the loss of 10,10,000. He has the loss of 10,10,000. So, in this situation, as per our previous video, as per our previous discussion, we can adjust the loss within a head with the different sources. Is that there is a one source is textile business and there is a profit of 7,50,000. Another source is manufacturing business. There is a loss of 10,10,000. 10 lakh, sorry, it is a 10,10,000 rupees. It is a 10,10,000 rupees is the amount of loss in the manufacturing business. Now we can adjust it. We can adjust the amount of loss with the amount of profit. So the amount of loss which will not be adjustable will be means sorry, this is 10,10,000 means 2,60,000 is the amount of loss which is not set off in the relevant assessment year. In the relevant assessment year, the amount of profit is only 7,50,000 and the amount of losses from the another sources 10,10,000 means we can adjust, we can set off for the such a loss up to rupees 7,50,000. Up to rupees 7,50,000 means such a 2,60,000 rupees will be carried forward for the next year. It will be carried forward for the next assessment year. For the next assessment year is that when there is any assessee has the right to carry forward the loss from the business and profession in the case where such loss cannot be set off due to the absence or inadequacy of income under any other head of income in the same year. Is that in the same year, if such amount of 2,60,000 is not adjusted, if it is not set up by the assessee, then the assessee has the right, that he can carry forward such loss for the next assessment year, and in the next assessment years, in the subsequent previous year, we can adjust such amount of loss, with the profit of business income, with the profit of business. Means we can adjust, or we can set up such amount in the previous year, in the subsequent previous year, or in the next assessment year, with the head of business income, So section 72 covers the carry forward and set of the business loss. Section 72 covered the carry forward and the set off of the business loss, or the loss which is arising from the business and profession. Now we will discuss certain condition. In the respect of such a set off and carry forward of losses. Set off and carry forward of losses. The assessee has the right that he can carry forward the business loss. The assessee has the right, he has to carry forward the business losses under this section. However, but there are certain condition, means however, subject to certain condition, means the assessee has the right that if there is any unabsorbed amount of business loss, then such assessee can carry forward such amount of loss for the next assessment year. But there are certain conditions. Number one, the loss should have been incurred in the business, profession, or vocation. Number one condition, that such loss is related to the business, profession, and vocation. The loss should be incurred in the business, in the profession, or in the vocation only. Number two, the loss should not be in the nature of loss in the business of speculation. Means such loss should not be speculative loss. Speculative business loss means such loss will be the loss of normal business, loss from normal business. It will not be related to speculative business. Means such loss is related to the loss of speculative business. Means such loss should not be related to the loss of speculative business. So if loss is incurred in business, profession, or vocation, or such a loss is from normal business, not from speculative business, then such amount of unobserved loss we can carry forward to the next assessment year, to the subsequent previous year, for the purpose of setup. Loss from one business can be carried forward or set off against the income from another business. Is that if there is any assessee, he has two business, and one business has the profit and the another business has the loss. So the loss of another business we can adjust with the profit of another business, just like that. He has Mohan, he has textile business and manufacturing business. The manufacturing business has the loss and the textile business has the profit. So we can adjust the amount of loss with the amount of profit. Is that if the same example, Mr. Mohan, he has the textile business and he has the profit 5,25,000 rupees. He has the manufacturing business. He also have the manufacturing business, and there is the loss of rupees 1,75,000. Then in this situation, we can set off such amount of loss. 1,75,000 rupees with the amount of profit. Means the taxable amount will be, or the income will be, 3,75,000 only. 3,75,000 will be considered as income of business, income of PGBP. So the loss may be carried forward if such a amount, the loss is 6,75,000 minus 6,75,000. Then 1,50,000 will not be set off and it will be carried forward. So in this situation, the loss can be carried forward and set off against the income from the business or profession. So though not necessarily against the profit against the PGBP in the same business, in the same business or profession in which the loss was incurred. So, if there is any SIC, he has more than one business and more than one business, and in a business there is a profit and another business there is a loss. Then we will set off the amount of loss with the amount of profit. And if there is any unabsorbed or inadequate loss which is not set off, means there is any unabsorbed loss, then such unabsorbed loss we will then such an unabsorbed loss we will carry forward for the next assessment year or for the subsequent previous years. However, the loss which is carried forward cannot under any circumstances be set off against the income from any head other than PGBP. Is that such a 1,50,000 or such a 2,50,000 will be it will be set off only from the income income from the head of PGBP, means in the next years when we will carry forward it, so then from the next years it will be set off only from the head of PGBP. It will not be set off with any other head of income. It will not be set off in the any head of under the any head of income, means only in the relevant previous year, in the relevant year it is allowed to set off from any head of income. But where once it is carry forward, once any of the loss carry forward, then after the carry forward it will be set off only with the same head, only with the same head. It will not be adjusted with any other head. It will not be adjusted with any other head. So, a loss which is carried forward cannot, under any circumstances, be set off against the income from any head other than PG or other than profit and gain of business or profit and gain of profession. Person who incurred the loss alone is entitled to carry forward and set off the losses. Is that if there is any loss, if there is any amount of loss which is incurred by the assessee, then he is or only he will carry forward such losses. Means the loss can be carried forward and set up against the profit of the assessee who incurred the loss. Who incurred the loss is that if there is any person who has incurred any loss, then only he will set off and carry forward the loss. Only he will set off and carry forward the loss. Is that for the example, there is a person, Mr. Ram. He is working as individual. He is working as individual and he has a loss of rupees 2,50,000, and such losses carry forward by him. Such losses carry forward by him. Then he can then if his business is a succeed by the any other person. If his business is a succeed by the any other person, now he is not carrying out the business in his individual capacity. He is not working in his individual capacity. Then he is not eligible to carry forward such loss in any other capacity. Is that is only the person who has incurred the losses is entitled to carry forward and set off the same. Subsequently, the successor of the business cannot carry forward or cannot set off the losses of his predecessor, except in the case of succession by succession by inheritance. Succession by inheritance is that if there is any succession of business, means the business of Mr. Ram is succeed and it is succeed by Mr. Mohan, then such a loss will not be adjusted by Mr. Mohan. because Mr. Mohan now he is the successor and he is the predecessor, then the laws of Mr. Ram will not be carried forward or will not be adjusted by me. Because the person who incurred the loss, he will set off, only he will set off, or only he will carry forward. Only he will carry forward the loss. Maximum period of carry forward and set off the business loss. Maximum period. So the business loss can be carried forward for the maximum period of 8 years. Maximum period of 8 years, you can carry forward the losses. You can carry forward the business loss. A business loss can be carried forward for the period of maximum 8 years, maximum 8 assessment years, immediately succeeding the assessment year in which the loss was incurred. Means for the maximum period of 8 years, for the maximum period of 8 years, you can carry forward the loss. You can carry forward the losses maximum period of 8 assessment year immediately preceding the assessment year in which the loss was incurred. If the loss is incurred in assessment year 2019-20, then 8 years from 2019-20. 8 years from 2019-20, you can carry forward these losses. You can carry forward these losses. Now we will discuss it by the way of example. Now we will discuss a example, and on the basis of such example, we will understand how to set off and the carry forward of business losses. Mr. B, he is a resident of India. He furnished the following information. There is a B, there is a B, and he provides the following income. Number one, income from salary. Salary income. It is 45,000 rupees. The next is income from house property. Income from house property. So it is a loss, 24,000 rupees. And there is a income from business. Income from non-speculative, means this is the amount of income from other business other than speculative business. Minus 22,000 means there is a loss. Income from speculative business. Income from speculative business. There is a profit from speculative business. It is minus, means loss, 4,000 rupees. There is the short-term capital loss. Short-term capital loss. It is 25,000. And there is the long-term capital gain. It is 19,000. 19,000 is the amount of long-term capital gain. So on the basis of such detail, there is a requirement to calculate total income. There is a requirement to calculate the total income which will be chargeable to tax. Which will be chargeable to tax for the assessment year 21 and 22. On the basis of this, there is a requirement to calculate the income which will be chargeable to tax for the assessment year 21 and 22. 21 and 22. So first, there is the salary income. There is a salary income of 25,000 rupees. There is the salary income of 25,000 rupees. So salary income 45,000 rupees less income from house property, means loss from house property. We will adjust this. We can adjust 25,000 rupees. Okay. Now there is income from other business. If there is any loss from business, we cannot adjust with the salary income. Such a loss, a business loss cannot be adjusted with the salary income. Okay, so it will not be adjusted from it, and speculative business loss will not be adjusted with any other head of income. It will be adjusted only with the speculative income. Short-term capital loss and long-term capital gain. Short-term capital loss and long-term capital gain. So it is will be this minus this. Wait. Means 21,000 rupees is the income from, this is the net salary income. Now we have long term capital gain 19,000 and less short term capital loss. Is that the amount of short term capital loss can be adjusted with short term capital gain as well as long term capital gain, but the long term capital loss cannot be adjusted with short term capital gain. It will be adjusted only with the long term capital gain. Only with the long term capital gain. So short term capital gain is 25,000, short term capital loss is 25,000, but we will extend, means we will set off, we will set off max to max 90,000. So it will be zero. It will be zero. So in this situation, the carry forward will be number one, business loss of rupees 24,000, and speculative business loss. Speculative business loss is 4,000. This is 22,000. And house property loss is already adjusted. Capital gain is already adjusted. Short term capital loss. Short term capital loss. It will be carry forward because it is 25,000 and we have adjusted only 19,000, means 6,000. It will be carry forward. And the taxable income. So the total income for the assessment year, total income will be only 21,000. This one is the salary. So the total income will be 21,000 rupees and the carry forward, these all amount will be carried forward. So the total income from house property 45,000 rupees less income from house property 25,000. PGBP we cannot carry forward, we cannot set off it with the salary income. Capital gain, long term capital gain on 19,000 less short term capital loss 6,000 rupees, it will be carried. So the taxable income is 21,000 rupees. Taxable income is 21,000 rupees. Note number 1, business income cannot be set up with the salary income. Therefore, a loss of 22,000 rupees from the non-speculative business cannot be set up with the salary income. Hence, such loss has to be carried forward for the next year for the purpose of setup. And note number 2, loss of 4,000, speculative business. It can be set up only with the income of speculative business. Only with the income of speculative business. So we will also carry forward it because in the year there is no any income from speculative business. Note number 3, short-term capital gain. The short-term capital gain we can adjust with the short-term capital loss we can adjust with the short-term capital gain as well as long-term capital gain. So there is the amount of short-term capital losses 25,000 rupees, and there is the long-term capital, there is short-term capital loss 25,000 rupees, and long-term capital gain is 19,000 rupees. So up to 19,000 we will adjust the short-term capital loss. Reached 6,000 rupees we can carry forward it for the next year, and we will set off against from the capital gain, if any, in the next years. So we have discussed losses, set off and the carry forward of business losses. Now we will discuss section 73, losses in speculation business. Now we will discuss when there is any loss which arise in the case of speculation business. As per the provision, if there is any assessee, he has the loss in the speculative business, then the loss of the speculative business can be adjusted, can be set off only with the profit of speculative business. Is that The loss of speculative business can be adjusted only with the profit of speculative business. Only with the profit of speculative business. And in the relevant assessment year, if there is a loss from speculative business and there is no any profit from speculative business, then such a loss will be carried forward. Then such a loss will be carried forward for the next assessment year for the purpose of set off. So the meaning of expression speculative transaction as defined under section 43 subsection 5. The meaning of the speculative transaction is defined under section 43 subsection 5, and the treatment of income from the speculative business has already we have discussed. The treatment of the income of a speculative business we have already discussed in our PGBP chapter. Now we will discuss set off and carry forward of the speculative business losses. Means how we will set off and how we will carry forward the speculative business losses. Is that if there is any speculative business loss, since the speculative is deemed to be the business distinct and separate from other business, the speculative business is considered as separate business from the other business. The loss, if there is any loss which is incurred by the assessee from the speculative business, then such a speculative business loss will be set off only with the amount of only with the income of speculative business. Is that if there is a assessee and there is a loss, there is a loss speculative business loss of rupees, for the example, 1,50,000. 1,50,000 is the speculative business loss. Then such a speculative business loss only will be adjusted, only will be set up with the profit of speculative business. Profit with the speculative business, it will not be set off, it will not be adjusted with any other profit. It will not be adjusted with any other head of income. It will be adjusted only with the profit of or specific business. Sorry, it will be adjusted only with the speculative business income. The loss of speculative business loss will be adjusted only with the income of speculative business income of the speculative business. So, speculative in the case of speculative business, when there is any assessee incurred any loss, then it can neither set off in the same year if it is not set off by the assessee in the same year against any speculative income. Means such a speculative loss we cannot or it is neither set off against any other income, any other non-speculative income, nor it can be carried forward and set off against any other income in the subsequent year. Means the speculative loss we can only set off from the speculative income, and if we will carry forward it, then we will also set off in the another years with the income of speculative business only. Means the loss of speculative business is always set off with income of speculative business in any year, irrespective to the year. In any year, it will be adjusted, it will be set off with the income of speculative business. Therefore, if the loss sustained by the assessee in a speculative business cannot be set off in the same year against any other speculative profit, they can be carried forward. If there is any loss from speculative business and it is not set up by the assessee, it is not set up by the assessee in the current year due to the non-speculative profit, or he has speculative business, he has speculative profit, but it is not proper or it is not sufficient to set off total amount of speculative loss, then the balance on the and the unabsorbed speculative loss can be carried forward for the to the subsequent year and in the subsequent year we will set off such amount of loss with the income of speculative business. So we can carry forward it to the subsequent year and set off only against the income from any speculative business which is carried on by the assessee. Loss from the activity of trading in derivatives, however, it is not to be treated as speculative loss. It will, if there is any person, he has trading in the derivative, he is trading in the derivative, and due to such trading there is any loss during such a trading in derivative, there is a loss, then it will not be considered as speculative loss, it will not be considered the speculative loss. Now we will discuss the maximum period, means for how many period we can carry forward and set up such a speculative loss, speculative business loss, means for maximum how many years, for maximum how many period we can carry forward, or we can set off the amount of such, the amount of such loss, amount of such a speculative loss. So the loss in the speculative business, the loss in the speculative business can be carried forward maximum for the period of 4 years, means the speculative business loss can be carried forward, the speculative business loss can be carried forward max to max 4 years, max to max 4 years from the end of relevant assessment year, means if there is any assessee, he bear the losses, he bear the losses in the assessment year 2019-20, then from 2019-20 up to 4 years he can carry forward these losses, he can carry forward these losses. Where when a business of the company deemed to be carrying on a speculative business, where when the business of the company deemed to be carrying on a speculative business. The explanation of this section provide that the explanation of section 73 provide that where any part of the business of the company consists in the purchase and sale of share of any company, means there is any company which is engaged in the sale and purchase of share, then the such company shall be deemed to be carry on speculative business to the extent of which the business consists the purchase and the sale of share, means when there is any company which is engaged in the sale and the purchase of share, then it will be considered that such organization or such company or such a business is engaged in the speculative business, but to the extent of sale and purchase of shares, the extent of sale and purchase of shares. So, however, this deeming provision does not apply in the following company. Such provision, the previous provision, means if there is any company which is engaged in the sale and purchase of the shares, then it will be considered that such company is engaged in the speculative business, but such provision shall not be applicable on the following company. Number one, a company whose gross turnover, whose gross total income, there is any company whose gross total income consists of mainly income from interest on security, interest from house property, capital gain, and the income from other sources, is that there is any company and whose gross total income include the income mainly from income from house property, income from securities, interest on securities, income from capital gain, income from other sources, then such provisions shall not be applicable on such company. Number two, the company, the principal business of such company is the the principal business of the company is a business of trading in share. Means this is the principal business. Principal business of the company is trading in the shares, business of banking, or and granting the loans and advances and providing the loans and advances, then the previous provision will not be applicable on it. And and if there is any company whose gross total income mainly consists income chargeable under the head of capital gain, under the head of income from other sources, under the head of house property, and in interest on security, then the provision is not applicable on such company. And the company that had the principal business, that had the principal business of trading in shares, business of banking, and granting the loans or granting the advances. Thus, these company would be exempted. Then, the such companies would be exempted from the operation of this explanation. Accordingly, if these company carry any business of sale and purchase of share, other If these companies carry on the sale and purchase of shares of other companies, then it shall not be treated as such company is engaged in the speculative business. Then it will not be considered as such companies are engaged in the speculative business. Now we will discuss carry forward and set off of losses of specified business. Is that if there is any loss in the case of specified business. Means if there is any loss in the case of specified business, the specified business which are referred in section 3580 and what will be that means what how we will carry forward and set off the losses from such a specified business. Section 73, subsection 73A. As per section 73A or as per the provision of Income Tax Act, if there is any loss from the specified business, then the loss of the specified business will be adjusted. It will be set off only with the income or only with the profit of specified business. Means if there is any assessee, he has the loss from any specified business which is referred in section 3580, then such a loss can be set off only with the income of the specific business. Only with the income of specified business only. Is that set off and carry forward and set off losses of the specified business. If there is any loss which is computed as per the section 3580, if there is any loss and such a loss is related to the specified business which is referred in section 3580, then it will be set off only against the profit which is arise from the any specified business which is defined in section 3580. Then if there is any unabsorbed loss, then it can be carried forward. Then such amount of loss can be carried forward and for the next assessment year, and we will adjust or we will set up such amount of loss only with the amount of income or the profit from the specified business, only with the specified business. Loss can be set off indefinitely. Means in the case of specific business, there is no time limit for the carry forward of losses. Means normally there is the time limit of 8 years, time limit of 4 years, but in the case of specified business, there is no time limit for the carry forward and set of these losses. Means we can carry forward these losses for the indefinite period, and we can set off these losses for the indefinite period. Means there is no time limit. There is no time limit specified for the carry forward and set off, and therefore such loss can be carried forward indefinitely for set off against the income from specified business. So on the basis of such a discussion, we have covered some important topic or some important sections 72, 73, 73A and other relevant point which are relating to carry forward and set off of losses. This chapter is very much important. This topic is very much important. So kindly consider all the parts, part 1, 2 and part 3 of such concepts so that you can properly understand each and every concept of such chapter. Thank you so much for watching this video. Kindly refer part 1 also, and part 3 we will discuss in our next class. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.